What's going on, guys? Pegasus and the Wise Guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you sub, make sure you hit the bell. The following takes place between like 8:40 a.m. Let's get into the video, shall we? Before getting into Clockwork, guys, I wanted to talk about this card. I found it online. I was looking at Cyber Night. I know a lot of you guys probably chill out and watch Cyber Night as well when he's doing pack openings. Pretty cool stuff. But this card is really, really nuts. It adds an overload fusion from your deck to your hand and does a lot more and can fuse and help your monster attack like 8 times for like 7,000 attack points. Just wanted to point this out. Have no idea what it's called. I'll be doing some research and I'll post it in the comments when I find it. Alrighty guys, so it is time to talk about the card that you were here for. Clockwork Night is the new card that just got revealed yesterday. Have no idea when it's coming out, but it's going to be extremely powerful when it comes out. Let's talk about it. The card says all face-up monsters on the field become machine monsters. All machine monsters you control gain 500 attack. Also, all machine monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. You can banish this card from your graveyard and discard 1 card. Add 1 earth machine monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Clockwork Night once per turn. You can only activate it once per turn. So what I wanted to talk about, guys, essentially with this card, you have something insane, but I wanted to talk about it in 2 different layers. The first layer I wanted to talk about is that obviously where it says that you get to turn everybody into a machine, it definitely ties in specifically to very, very powerful stuff inside of your extra deck. Now, clearly, if it says all face-up monsters on the field become machines, that means that Cyber Dragon can contact very, very quickly into Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, as you guys already know, because it takes 1+ machine monsters. Therefore, if your opponent has a board full of stuff, they basically have game. Alrighty guys, so on this part I wanted to cover the second part, which is talking about Rivalry of the Warlords, basically comboing with this card literally by itself without even playing Cyber Dragons, to be able to essentially lock your opponent in a zombie world style of fashion. If everybody's already a machine on the field and then you have this card, if you're playing say a trap version of Cyber Dragon, isn't that pretty good? Doesn't that lean your way? I don't know guys, seems pretty good. Foolish Burial I also wanted to mention really quickly. I actually had a talk with a friend and a teammate and I was like, man, why haven't I been playing Foolish Burial? So I definitely recommend a card like that. And I 100%, and trust me, I do have it already built. Make sure you smash that like button. We have a super heavy deck profile that I've been wanting to show off for a little while because it mixes in extremely well with Therion's. People don't really have any idea. I've been kind of holding it back a little bit because I was trying to pick them up in real life, but let me know. Smash the like button. We'll get that profile out as well and show some combos because I know nobody has any clue what's going on with that. But 100% with Clockwork, it also can do something as well to give you a heads up. This card is definitely expanding on the game a little bit, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Also wanted to mention Infinite Track, or however the hell you say it. Just make sure that you understand that and that they're Earth as well. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let me know what you think about all of these down in the comments. As I go over the profile really quickly, I really feel like all this is self-explanatory of trying to maximize out on a lot of this stuff. The Cyber Dark stuff is bad. That's just my opinion. You may love it, but I just don't like dumping my hand all on the board, although that's what this deck does. I definitely feel that all of this is pretty self-explanatory and really the theory is pretty well thought out. I venture to say I'd like to see a build that would be a little bit better, just because I feel like you just want to get slam stuff on the board and just OTK as fast as possible, but also have the ability to go first just in case you get forced to. The side deck and all that stuff is something to manage as well, but then getting into the extra, it's pretty much everything is everything. Pretty much as soon as this wraps up, by the way, I'm going to be taking that Rampage draft. I forgot all about Pallades. I just remembered it. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to end on some touching points just to kind of help a little bit. With a new card like this, I think it really boils down to a few separate things that I definitely had to wrap up in talking about. I definitely think this is a power card that is going to warrant your opponent having to negate the card, or simply you have to activate something to have them baited out for it to maximize its effect. I definitely think that matters, and it's definitely a point that should be talked about. The second part I wanted to talk about is that I believe he gives a big boost to a monster like Rampage Dragon so that it can actually attack up and over things. Therefore, if you actually have this card on the field or have resolved it and have resolved anything to get Rampage Dragon out onto the field, having a monster that can attack numerous times with even more attack than it had while also dropping your opponent is definitely something powerful as well. I definitely feel it would be remiss in me not mentioning that all of the babies definitely become more powerful inside of the deck. And when I say babies, I mean the cards like Hearse and Core, etc., etc. And being able to contact fuse, essentially having this card as well, is just going to multiply the devastating factor of your opponent dying a horrible death to a deck like Cyber Dragons more often. Last but not least, I definitely had to mention that it literally searches Regulus, and Regulus is already an expensive card, and I could foresee in the future maybe the field spell getting hit because that's an obvious hit, or anything else that could actually search the card. I definitely feel that this will be a future search card that you 100% will need. Again, guys, before I get out of here, let me know down in the comments if you want to see a super heavy deck profile with some of the Therion stuff and Clockwork as well. And I'll see you next time, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in. Pegasus out. Arrivederci.